Students from Bethesda Chevy Chase, Paul VI, and Georgetown Day meet today on It's Academic.
Everybody, I'm Hillary Howard. Welcome to It's Academic. In case you haven't heard, we are the world's longest-running TV quiz show produced by Altman Productions in association with David M. Rubenstein Productions.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following. MITRE, a not-for-profit research and development company working in the public interest.
What happens when the right people connect? Diversity challenges convention. Mentors inspire greatness. And passions drive innovation. From health to transportation and national security, cyber and AI, to space and back, MITRE connects the power of government, academia, and industry to meet our nation's challenges. Together, MITRE connects.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another playoff round on It's Academic. We're very excited to be here, getting ready with our fast start, where questions are worth 10 points up or down. First team to buzz in gets to answer. And the contestants don't see what you do on the screens at home. Guys, driver's license. You don't have to have a driver's license to compete in this round, which is all about cars. So start your engines. This car is driven by superhero Bruce Wayne. Georgetown.
Batmobile.
Yeah. And Aston Martin is a car used by this fictional BCC.
James Bond?
Yes. He wrote the book From a Buick 8. The answer is Stephen King. License plates were introduced in 1901 by this Empire State. Yes, BCC.
New York?
New York it is. A Rolls-Royce tourer is important in this F. Scott Fitzgerald novel.
The Great Gatsby?
Yes, you are right, Paul VI. The French founder of Detroit gave his name to this luxury car. Yep, BCC. Answer 3, 2,
Corvette?
1. Cadillac. The Pontiac was named for a chief of this tribe. Yes, Paul VI. Answer 3. Answer?
Pontiac tribe.
Ottawa. The first parking meter was installed in 1935 in this Sooner state. Yep, Georgetown.
Oklahoma.
You are right. The name of this Serbian-American inventor was given to Georgetown. Tesla it is. This car race is traditionally held on Memorial Day weekend. Yep, BCC.
Indy 500?
You are right, and that was our fast start. Let's recap the scores of this playoff game. BCC 120, Paul VI 110, Georgetown Day 130 points. So all of these teams have already won their first round match. Let's meet them. We begin with Bethesda Chevy Chase from Bethesda, Maryland. Hey, Seth, tell us about yourself.
I'm Seth. I'm a sophomore at Bethesda Chevy Chase, and in addition to It's Academic, I'm also on the debate team at BCC.
Yeah, what topics are you debating this year?
Just yesterday, we finished up a tournament on, the topic was forgiving student loans, and coming up, we've got a resolution about the United Nations Security Council.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of fun, too.
Good to have you, Seth. Micah, what's going on with you?
I am Micah. I'm a sophomore at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School, and I am part of my school's metal music club.
Which means?
We listen to metal music over lunch.
Very nice. I can use some of that. Hello, Oliver.
I'm Oliver. I'm a sophomore at Bethesda Chevy Chase, and I'm on our volleyball team.
Nice. And volleyball is fun.
Yeah, well.
You know, it's so funny because volleyball is one of those sports where you think, wow, that's really fun. I can do it. And kind of know you can't. It's tough to be good, right?
It's a steep learning curve at points.
Okay, guys, here we go. See live rabbits. Forget rabbits and see if you can find here the hidden name of what large organ of your body, an organ that secretes bile and stores glucose.
Liver.
You are right. Incoherent, indolent, intestate. Someone who is very lazy can best be described by which of these adjectives?
Indolent?
Yes. Lithium, oxygen, nitrogen. Combine the chemical symbols for these elements and you will get the name of what majestic animal that figured in a story on Androcles.
Lion.
Yeah. Silent Spring, Fatal Fall, The Coming Winter. Which of these is the title of Rachel Carson's landmark book about the environment?
Silent Spring.
Yes, it was. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. This observation has been attributed to several people, including what military leader who became Emperor of France in 1804?
Napoleon.
You are right, Bethesda Chevy Chase, 220 points. From Chantilly, Virginia, Paul VI Catholic School. Hello, Ethan. Good to see you again.
Hi, I'm Ethan Mills. I'm a junior at St. Paul VI Catholic High School, and in my free time, I like to play soccer with my friends.
And when did you start playing soccer? Were you like a wee kid?
Yeah, I was little. My parents started me off at Little Kickers in Great Falls.
So you've been doing it a long time. All right, good to have you back. Hello, Christopher.
Yeah, I'm Christopher. I'm a junior at PVI, and I like learning about biology and military and politics.
Last time you were on, we asked you about the history. What is it about biology that you like?
I'd definitely say microbiology, especially like bacteria and just like biochemistry and like all the intricate details that make up everyday life.
All right, great. Hello, Ethan.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm a sophomore at St. Paul VI Catholic High School, and the class that I'm taking right now in school is engineering.
And tell us about engineering and why you like it.
Well, this particular engineering class is a little bit about everything, and I really like the hands-on aspect that we get to do every day.
That's really cool. I tell you, I drive across bridges and think, how'd they do that? And I'm glad they do that. Here we go. A medal to Nick. You'll get a medal if you can find here the hidden name of what English scientist famous for his work with atomic theory and color blindness?
Dalton?
Yes, it is. A cemetery, a cathedral, a fortress. If you were taking a tour of a historic citadel, you'd be visiting which of these?
Fortress.
Yeah. Aluminum, iodine, cerium. Combine the chemical symbols for these three elements and you'll name what fictional girl who pursues a white rabbit into Wonderland.
Alice.
Yeah, it was Alice. You'd have to brush up on French and Creole before visiting which of these countries where these are the two official languages?
Haiti.
Yeah. It's a poor mind that can only think of one way to spell a word. This creative approach to spelling was voiced by what seventh U.S. president?
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson is right. Nice, Paul VI, 200 points. And now to the guys from Georgetown Day School in Washington, D.C. Hello, Isaac.
Hi, I'm a junior at GDS. I play on the tennis team. I was all-conference last year, and I also play piano and bass.
Talk about the strategy of playing tennis.
It's a very mental game. You can't let yourself get too low. Don't overthink.
Don't overthink. Well, that's one of my drawbacks, overthinking. It's the end of me. Good to see you again, Isaac. How you, Ben?
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a junior at GDS. I do policy debate. I'm also on the baseball team.
And the policy debate, are you doing something similar to these guys or different?
Similar, longer speech times, year-long topic instead of monthly changes. So this year it's fiscal redistribution. I mean, it's really interesting because it challenges the way we think about the way economy should function.
Wow, very cool. Good to see you again. And hello, Houghton.
Hi, I'm Houghton. I'm a freshman at GDS, and in my spare time, I really enjoy History Bowl and Quiz Bowl.
Well, we talked about the History Bowl a little while ago. Talk about Quiz Bowl, why you like being here, why you like competing wherever you can.
I don't know. I just really like working out like my mind and going through all these challenges to see if I can learn the next thing or, yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty
see
cool.
If I can do it.
Susan Altman, the executive producer of the show, says it's interesting dinner conversation. You know, all of the stuff you learn. Okay, here we go. A cup is tilted. Before anything can spill, please find hidden within this phrase the name of what seed-producing part of a flower?
Pistil.
Correct. Yep. Viscous, verdant, voracious. Which of these words would you most appropriately choose to describe a meadow covered with green vegetation?
Verdant.
Correct. Carbon, erbium, einsteinium. Combine the chemical symbols for these elements and you'll spell the name of what Roman goddess identified with the Greek goddess Demeter?
Ceres?
Yeah, Ceres.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Lake Baikal, Lake Titicaca, Lake Huron. Which of these lakes was a center of French settlement during the 16th century explorations of North America?
Huron.
Yeah, that's it. Nobody has any right to quote anything I said in private. Back in the days when public figures had privacy. These were the words of what 26th president and avid big game hunter?
Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt.
Absolutely. Nicely done, Georgetown Day. 230 points. And that does it for the mix and match round. Picture Perfect next.
I'm David Rubenstein. From the Kennedy Center and the National Archives to the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, I've been pleased to support many important organizations and historic sites linked to American history, art, culture, education, and more. I believe giving back to our country isn't just an idea, it's an action, a patriotic action that involves all of us. And it begins with education and learning about our nation's past so that we, the people, can make a more perfect union for the future. We can do it together. Please read, learn, get involved, and make a difference.
We've reached the Picture Perfect round. In this round, questions are worth 20 points up or down. Once again, the first team to buzz in gets to answer. Here's your first clue. According to ancient mythology, the peacock was sacred to Georgetown.
Sure, Hera.
Yeah. The red square here covers what element, whose name comes from an Arabic word,
Zirconium?
Paul. Yes, zirconium is correct. This is what second largest Italian island that has a fishy BCC?
Sardinia?
Correct. What is the y-intercept of this line? Georgetown.
0.
Yes. Before the rise of the Roman Empire, this chariot was used by what Italian people? BCC.
Etruscans?
Etruscan is correct choice. Although it doesn't have a shell, this creature belongs to what same phylum as the clam or mussel? Yes, BCC? Answer 3, 2, 1. It's mollusca. Success covers a multitude of blunders. The man who wrote these words was what successful Anglo-Irish playwright, the author of Pygmalion? Yes, Georgetown.
George Bernard Shaw.
You are right. Located in the Amazon rainforest, these are the Kaituur Falls. In what South American country? BCC.
Brazil?
No, Guyana. This arch is named for what Roman emperor who is said to have adopted Christianity in return? Georgetown?
Constantine.
You are right. The title of the Kandinsky painting includes what geometric shape that also identifies the president's White House office? Georgetown. Oval is right, and that's the end of the Picture Perfect round. How about we recap these scores? Bethesda Chevy Chase, 220 points. Paul VI, 220 points. Georgetown Day, 330 points. So all of these students are really good, and they're fast, and they got a lot of help from the coaches and administrators who prepare them for It's Academic. Let's turn it over to Bethesda Chevy Chase and Micah, who's with you.
Well, I'd like to thank our great assistant principal, Mr. Goodwin, and the best coach we could ask for, Miss Lassar.
And what makes Miss Lassar so special?
She's just supported us the whole way, been great, holding practices every week and just taking us here and being so kind.
Well, beautiful. Good to have you guys again. Good to have them as well. To Paul VI, Christopher, you fill us in on your team.
I'd like to thank Dr. Kembo, our great coach, and has given us a lot of practice for this moment. And I'd also like to thank our head of school, Mrs. Swenson, and our principal, Dr. Opfer, as well as our alternative, Indra, who is here today and has really been there to help us just in case.
What does it do for you guys to get that kind of support?
It definitely gives you encouragement, especially, with going on a TV show and such.
Yeah, all right. Well, great. Good to have them. And over to Georgetown Day. Ben, tell us about your team.
So we'd like to thank our alternate, Samuel and Henry, our principal, Yom, then our coaches, Sean, and especially Sue, who's been coaching the GDS It's Academic program for 37 years. She's done so much to create this program.
It's really amazing, yeah. So obviously, I haven't been doing this show nearly as long as she's been coaching it. It's only been 12 years for me. A pittance compared to 37 years. All right, now that we've met everybody, the teams behind the teams, let's go ahead and do this packet round. In this round, questions are worth 20 points, nothing off for a wrong answer. If you get all of the questions right, there is a 25-point bonus, always very nice to get. But first, let's talk about how we do this round. As you know, there are 3 packets. Bethesda Chevy Chase, you get to answer questions first. Paul VI, you get to choose which packet they will answer questions from.
3.
3. Ready, guys? Okay. The 1st Regiment of U.S. Cavalry Volunteers was the formal name of Teddy Roosevelt's Army unit with what two-word alliterative nickname?
Rough Riders.
Yes. Though he wasn't a Boy Scout, what mythical Greek hero could have been called a tenderfoot because of his vulnerable heel?
Achilles?
Yeah. Crop failure in Italy 2,000 years ago was linked to atmospheric cooling after the eruption of a volcano in what island chain off Alaska?
Aleutian?
Yes. Here's your science question. Lactic acid, acetic acid, formic acid. Which of these is a colorless, corrosive acid that has a sharp odor and is present in the sting of wasps and ants?
Formic acid?
Formic acid is correct. Over 900 African-American airmen who fought in World War II were named for what Alabama institute where they had trained?
Tuskegee?
Yeah, you've got it right. After a holiday dinner, your family might echo the line, "We are the stuffed men," from the poem The Hollow Men by what poet who also wrote The Wasteland? Answer is T.S. Eliot. Here's your math question. What is the lowest common denominator for these fractions?
1/16?
No, it's 30. Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of beauty, is said to have been born from sea foam off the coast of what Mediterranean island whose capital is Nicosia?
Cyprus.
Yeah, you got it. Nicely done, Bethesda Chevy Chase, 340 points. Paul VI, you're up. Georgetown Day, packet 1 or packet 2?
Give him packet 1.
Okay, here we go. A John Hersey novel includes in its title what calm center of a hurricane referring to a sensory organ?
Eye.
Yeah. A Radiant History from Creation to the Quantum Age is part of the descriptive title of Bruce Watson's book about what electromagnetic radiation that travels at 186,000 miles per second?
Ultraviolet.
No, just light. Between 1892 and 1943, immigrants waiting to enter the U.S. were processed at what New York island?
Ellis Island.
Yes, here's your science question. Calorie, watt, Newton. Which of these is a unit of power?
What?
Yes. The white influence of what Roman emperor is seen in a gate in Turkey and a wall in England, both of which bear his name?
Hadrian.
Hadrian it is. The Golden Apples of the Sun is a collection of short stories by what science fiction author who also wrote The Martian Chronicles?
Bradbury?
Yeah, that's very good. Bradbury. Ray Bradbury. Here's your math question. Solve for X.
200.
No, the answer is 8. In 2016, a 404-carat diamond was found in what African country where Luanda is the capital?
Rwanda?
No, it's Angola.
So you said
Paul VI, you have got 320 points. Georgetown Day, your packet is packet number 2. A Latin term meaning old men is the root of the name of which part of Congress that has 100 men and women of varying ages?
Senate.
Yeah. The U.S. Department of Transportation has set up a registry for what sort of unmanned aircraft, such as the Reaper, that come in multi-rotor, fixed-wing, and other varieties.
Drones.
Yes, drones. Big Bertha was a World War I German gun, but what similar two-word nickname describes the bell in the clock tower of Parliament in London?
Big Ben.
Big Ben is right. Here's your science question. Van Allen, Cygnus, Triassic. Which of these names refers to two asymmetrical radiation belts outside of Earth's atmosphere?
Van Allen.
Yeah, you've all got that right. The largest of the 88 constellations is the one named for what many-headed monster slain by Hercules?
The Hydra.
Yes. Raisin cake was the favorite dessert of what 19th century woman who served up poetry at her home in Amherst, Massachusetts?
Emily Dickinson.
Yeah, it is. Here's your math question. What is the average of these three expressions?
X plus 5.
Yep, X plus 5 is right. The movie March of the Penguins should have been a hit in the town of Penguin, a port on what Australian island where Hobart is the capital?
Tasmania.
And with Tasmania as the answer, Georgetown Day gets a 25-point bonus and 515 points. Stick around, we have the grab bag round next.
Hello, I'm David Rubenstein. Did you know that most spiders are nearsighted, even though they may have 8 eyes? Some of the eyes can see ultraviolet light as well as colors. I'm David Rubenstein, reminding you to read, learn, get involved, and make a difference.
It's time for the grab bag round in this very exciting playoff match. Let's recap the scores before we dive in. Bethesda Chevy Chase 340, Paul VI 320, Georgetown Day 515. Questions are worth 20 points up or down. Here we go. Though it didn't pause to take a selfie, what spacecraft with a 2-word name reached Pluto after traveling 3 BCC? Answer.
New Horizons?
Yes. Choice. If the length of a violin string is shortened, will the fundamental frequency of the string increase, decrease, or remain the same? BCC.
Increase.
Yeah. During a duel, a button on his coat deflected his opponent's sword and saved the life of what Baroque composer of the Messiah? Georgetown. Yeah. On your monitors. This is 12th century Holy Roman Emperor Frederick, BCC.
Barbarossa?
Barbarossa is right. A 4-day battle in November 1863 gave the Union Army control of what eastern Tennessee city? Yes, Paul?
Chattanooga.
You're right. The sum of 2 consecutive integers is 21. Name either integer. Georgetown. 10 works.
Sure.
In 1999, the literary world mourned the death of Joseph Heller, author of what BCC?
Catch-22.
You are right. Catch-22 on your monitors. Sea monkey. Aqua dragon. These names identify the brine variety of what aquatic crustacean that can be, CC?
Shrimp.
Yeah. If a writer publishes a series of books as a tetralogy, he or she, Georgetown.
It's four.
4 is correct. Mussolini was given the first name Benito in honor of what 19th century Mexican president and revolutionary? Georgetown.
Benito Juarez.
You are correct. Choice. The product of mass and the time rate of change of velocity is called momentum, acceleration, or force. Anybody? Any takers? The answer is Georgetown.
Force.
Yes, it is force. Created over 1,000 years ago, this golden bull was found in what Black Sea Republic? And that is the end of the game. We'll have the final scores in just a moment, so please stay with us.
I'm David Rubenstein, and I believe giving back is something we all can do. Many students are getting involved in their communities in important ways. I've asked them to share with us how they're making a difference.
Hello, I'm Luke Ormson, a senior at Gonzaga College High School in Washington, D.C. Over this past summer, I had the opportunity to travel to the U.S.-Mexico border to serve meals to migrants, to accompany them through everyday tasks, and to learn more about the issue of immigration through asylum seekers themselves. However, I was determined to continue my service even after returning to Gonzaga. Through meeting with Congresspeople to discuss acts concerning immigration, to writing articles in my school newspaper about the issue, I'm so glad to have been able to continue my service to this community I care so deeply about throughout my senior year.
Like these students, you too can help improve the lives of so many people by volunteering in your town and community. Please read, learn, get involved, and make a difference.
The scores are now official. We begin with Paul VI from Chantilly, Ethan Christopher, and Ethan, 340 points. From Bethesda Chevy Chase in Bethesda, Seth Micah Oliver, 440 points. And coming back for the semifinal, Georgetown Day School, Isaac Ben Houghton, 615 points. Way to knock it out of the park, guys. Nicely done. And we'll be right back.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following. MITRE, a not-for-profit research and development company working in the public interest.
What happens when the right people connect? Diversity challenges convention. Mentors inspire greatness. and passions drive innovation. From health to transportation and national security, cyber and AI, to space and back, MITRE connects the power of government, academia, and industry to meet our nation's challenges. Together, MITRE connects.
Thanks for joining us for an exciting playoff match here on It's Academic. I'm Hillary Howard. See you next time. Bye, everybody. Woo!